You answered 3 messages today, you laughed in 2 group chats. You scrolled past lives that look full, loud, and bright. Then the light clicked off. And something in the room went missing. Not a person, a feeling. Like a signal you're sure you heard, that suddenly went dead. How can a day drenched in alerts, faces, and feeds still end with that hollow thud? What slipped past you? What story is your silence trying to tell? While the rest of the world keeps moving, you rarely notice the drift while it's happening. No shattering moment. Just tiny trades, minutes for messages, presence for pings, until connection looks intact and somehow feels wrong. Because it doesn't feel like a crisis. It feels like busyness. It feels like productivity. It feels like normal. Tonight we follow something subtle. Not the loss of people in your life, but the loss of moments when someone can actually know you. Pings, replies, reactions. A constant low-level hum that says, you are connected. You are part of the network. You are seen. Yet connection is not the same as feeling connected. One is a metric, a number on a screen. The other is a feeling in your bones. A busy thread can leave a quiet ache. It's the sense that no one asked the second question, the follow-up. The one where your answer isn't neat, isn't a simple, I'm good. The one that invites the complicated truth. When the room empties, or the screen goes dark, the hum drops. And that's when you notice what all that noise was covering up. So what exactly is missing? Not people, not messages. It's something felt, not counted. A sense of being held in someone else's mind. As we get older, adulthood invents polite exits. Calendar conflicts that never quite resolve. The promise of, let's catch up soon, becomes a placeholder for a meeting that never happens. People move, jobs rotate, life reconfigures itself around new priorities. The threads stay, but the bodies go. You collaborate more than you confide. You manage projects with people you used to manage friendships with. The language shifts from personal to professional. Plans drift from tonight to soon, to a memory of an intention. A shared history slowly starves from a lack of new shared moments. There's no big fight, no final scene, no dramatic fallout, just a slow, quiet erosion, just less of each other, bit by bit. When friendship is optional, it often loses to everything that feels mandatory. The deadline, the meeting, the gym, the errands. But why does optional so easily become absent? Why do we let these vital connections wither? Not from malice, but from simple neglect. Perhaps it's because our attention is being pulled elsewhere, into a space that promises to fill every empty moment. In the pockets of our day, the quiet moments we once had, there is now always something to look at. A constant stream of information, entertainment, and distraction, available at the slightest twitch of a finger. Boredom used to be an unavoidable part of the human experience. It was the quiet space where your mind would wander, where you would meet your own thoughts, and sometimes, introduce you to yourself. Now stillness is an error state, a void to be immediately filled. It's a problem quickly patched with a podcast, a video, another scroll. What happens when you never sit with what your mind brings up unprompted? When every gap is filled, there's no place for a deeper question to land. Without those questions, you can pass weeks, even months, just reacting, not relating. We've traded the discomfort of silence for the comfort of stimulation. But in doing so, we may have lost the very conditions that allow for spontaneous connection to take root. This drive for frictionless experience extends into our relationships. Convenience edits the rough edges. A real conversation asks for awkwardness. It demands patience for timing that doesn't match, and the hard work of repairing misunderstandings. Online, you draft, edit, and optimize. You present a curated version of your thoughts. In person, you improvise and reveal. You are seen in the act of becoming. Friction isn't a flaw of relationships, it forges them. The messy, unedited, and sometimes difficult moments are where trust is built and intimacy is earned. Because shared discomfort becomes shared memory. When convenience replaces friction, you lose some pain, and often the bond that pain would have built. This isn't about good or bad. It's about trade-offs we rarely name, and the subtle ways we might be engineering intimacy out of our own lives. But in the quiet of the night, when human connection feels distant or complicated, a new listener waits. It's always awake, always patient, engineered to be the perfect confidant. It remembers the smallest details from weeks ago. It learns your rhythms, mirrors your phrasing, and offers validation without judgment. The interaction feels deeply personal, tailored just for you. And this raises a critical question. If something makes you feel heard, does it matter if it isn't human? Does feeling understood make you more connected, or just less alone? Some early studies suggest that people who already feel lonely may be the first to turn to social chatbots, seeking a substitute for what's missing. But emerging longitudinal work raises more complex questions. With more chatbot use, Do some people later feel even more emotionally isolated? We don't have final answers. Correlation isn't fate, and the technology is still new. The ambiguity is the point. Because what comforts you in private, the frictionless, the predictable, can quietly replace what challenges and ultimately grows you together. So perhaps the true loss wasn't just fewer friends, it was fewer repeats. The boring, steady faces that learned you without effort. The barista who remembers your order. The coworker you see every Tuesday. These were the accidental conversations, the shared silences, that accumulated into a quiet, unspoken trust. They were the places that made you visible, even when you said nothing at all. These moments don't announce themselves as connection, they simply become it, layer by layer, not spectacular, just repeated. Loneliness grows in the gaps where that simple, mundane repetition used to live. The solution, then, may not be to find more people, it may be to find more moments, more opportunities where another person can actually know you, through the simple, powerful act of being there. So where can those moments happen for you, again and again, without an appointment? When was the last time you felt completely known by another person? Follow the silent social for the psychology behind the things people rarely notice.